Hi, this is Paul. Welcome on the first research and development video update. If this is your first time here, please subscribe to my channel. I am really pleased to announce that today I started to work on the development of the new Gene 2.1 release. What the work will be about, I am going to describe right here and right now. All will be related to the evaluation of the results we are getting in the gene and in some way to implement the rating of the hit values. So to make it the evaluation process better and extend it, that you have more chances and possibilities to search for better and stronger ways. Let's look on the situation we have today in our Gene 2.0. So we have the input box with the history of the lottery with the previous drawing days, and then we are getting the output boxes with the best results, and every time we count how many matches we are getting with the history of the lottery, and we call them hits like it's written here. So in our case we have 3 hits, 2, 4, 3 and 5, which is the maximum we can reach in such lottery. What we do is we have the hits are equal to number of matches, so 3 is equal to 3 and there is no added value. And then we take the matches, we sum them together, so like 3 plus 2 plus 4 plus 3 plus 5, I think it's 17, and we divide it by number of previous draws, so divided by 5, and we are getting the arithmetic mean, the average, and we recalculate it to the percentage, these hits, and then we get the average, which is in our case 64%. And now let me explain on a piece of paper what is the idea I want to implement and why. For that reason I prepared a second camera, and temporarily I used my mobile phone, so I hope it will work well. Let's see. So we have here the piece of paper. I can move it, put it on my keyboard right now, and I will also show the calculator on the screen. So at first what we are doing today is we are calculating the arithmetic mean, which is used as the average of the result. So let's write arithmetic mean is equal that we have value, in our case it is the number of hits, so value number 1 plus x2 plus, and we can continue to xn, and this we divide by number of elements, in our case is number of previous draws, and we can put here some real values. So we put, for example, we have 0 plus 2 plus 4 plus 2, and we will divide it by 4, which is number of the previous draws. In our case the AM we will sum it, and it's 2 plus 4 plus 2 is 8, divided by 4 is equal to. So this is the arithmetic average we are getting. We have value 2. This is what we have today in the Gene 2.0. I was thinking if I can implement some another calculation to use the geometric mean, and I came to following conclusion. So if we use the geometric mean, we can call it GM, and it is calculated like a root, and there is a n from x1 times x2 times and finally to xn. So we can write here gm, if we fill the values, is square rooted by 4, and there is a 0 times 2 times 4 times 2. And the problem we have here is following, that if we multiply by 0, everything we multiply by 0, we are getting 0 times 2 times 4 times 2 is equal to 0. So we will lose even this value or this one, and that's the problem why we cannot use the geometrical mean, as I can show it also in the example on the calculator. So 0 times 2 times 4, it's still 0, and even we will do the rooting of the 0. So let's put the 0 and for example the 3 roots, it's still 0. So this geometrical mean I do not plan to use for this reason, as there are number of matches is also can be 0 in our case. Then the third option I was thinking about is to use the harmonic mean, which is, can write harmonic mean is calculated as we have the number of previous draws and divided by 1 to x1 plus 1 divided to x2, and we can continue plus 1 divided to xn. If we try to fill it in, so the harmonic mean is, in our case, is 4 divided 1 divided to 0 plus 1 divided 2 plus 1 divided 4 plus 1 divided 2. And the problem is here, because we cannot divide by 0. It is error. Where I can show it also on the calculator, as you can. 1 divided by 0 is cannot divide by 0. So that's the second thing, as we will not use it. So in our case we will stay still with the arithmetical mean, and we will not use the geometric mean or harmonic mean. One problem is with the 0, and the second is that the formulas are more complicated, so it can slow the calculations and the speed of the gene, and also this recalculation does not giving any extra value. If we have number 4, it's still number 4, it's not any additional value. So what I plan to do, to stay with the arithmetic average, but I want to rate the values as they are growing. And let me show what we have today. In gene 2.0 we have actually the value is equal to x, so the number of hits is equal to number of matches. So 1 is equal 1, 2 is equal 2, 3 is equal 3, 4 is equal 4. But there are other ways how we can rate the value. So this is what we have today. But the other way is that the value we can square or power by 2. So in our case, the 1 on 2 is 1, but 2 on 2 is 4, 3 on 3 is 9, 4 on 2 is 3 times 3 is 9, 4 and 2 is 16. So in our case, you can see that the number 2 is now 4 times higher than number 1, and the number 4 is 4 times the number 2 and 16 times higher than number 1. And this is the main thing I would like to point out, that to guess the numbers or to have more hits, in reality it's much more difficult to hit two numbers than only one number. It's or to hit 4 numbers, it's much more harder to hit than the one number. In our case, if we use the powering the x by 2, it's 16 times harder to match 4 numbers than only one. So we are giving, if we have 4 hits, we are giving value to this column 16. And let me show one comparison example. Let's imagine we have some sequence of numbers, or 2 sequences A, and the sequence is like 0, 2, 4, 2. And if we power the results, then we are getting something like, if we power it, 0 on 2 is still 0, but here 2 is 4, 16, and 4. Yeah, so we are getting higher values. But I would like to rather show another sequence. So this I will cross, and let me show this sequence. If we have 0, 2, 0, 2, 1, and now the formula will be following. We have here, so we calculate the average mean in the way that we can calculate it like this. Average mean is 0 on 2 plus 2 on 2 plus 0 on 2 plus 2 on 2 plus 1 on 2, and divided, we have 5 elements here, divided by 5. And if I calculate it, and 0 on 2 is still 0, plus 4 plus 0 plus 4 plus 1 times 1 is 1, divided by 5. So if we assume it, we have here 4 is 9 divided by 5, and I can calculate it. Divided by 5 is 1.8. Yeah, and that irrelevant for this sequence. And if we do it in the old way, the sum is 5. Is 0, 2, 0 is 2 plus 2 is 5. But the scenario B, we'll move it a little bit more up. The scenario B can be like this. We have 0, 0, 4, 0 and 1. that's the second wave, the second sequence, and if we make assume is 5 with the previous method we have in the gene. But let's look if we apply the square, then the average mean is equal, and now it's 0 on 2 plus 4 on 2 plus 0 on 2 plus 1 on 2. We will divide it by 5 and we continue, and we have 0 plus 0 plus, and 4 times 4 is 16 plus 0 plus 1 and divided by 5. So the sum is 17 divided by 5, and it's equal, I will use the calculator, 17 divided by 5, and we got 3.4, the average mean. So the wave with the sequence, with this sequence, even it has the same value without rating, like here, it's weaker than this one, and it means if we have here 4 matches, it will overtake the wave like this one. So we are keeping the better wave with peaks and stronger and more matches, and this wave will not disappear and will be stored as the best one. Also, if I do 3.4 divided by 1.8 is actually 1.8 times more value add than the first result, this wave. So in this case, if we use this squared by 2, then we have much more stronger result. So that's the first rating I plan to add into the gene 2.1, and second option can be to use exponential function. So it is like ex. We can write it in the same way, like 2.718 times x, and the 2.718 is Euler's numbers, you might know it, and it's also the logarithm is equal to 1, so it's natural logarithm, and we can see the values, like if we have e on x. So I will write here some calculation. So that's 2.718 on 1 is 2.718, or 2.718 on 2 is, now we can use again the calculator, 0.718 on 2 is 7.38. Then we can try the square, 2.718 on 4. It can be also on 3, but I just can calculate only something. So 2.718, and we will use on 4 is 54.5. So if we have 4 matches, we have much more higher value than only one match. It's nearly 20 more than 20 times higher, we are giving more than 20 times higher value. And let's again look for the case A, where we have the numbers like 0, 2, 0, 2, 1. And if I will write it E on 0 is equal, so I can write it completely, so AM is equal, so E on 0 plus E on 2 plus E on 0 plus E on 2 plus E on 1 divided by 5. And the AM is now 1 plus, we calculated here 7.3 plus 1 plus 7.5 plus 2.71 divided by 5 is equal, let me calculate it on the calculator, so 1 plus 7.3 plus 1 plus 7.3 plus 2.71, and it's 19.31 divided by 5, so we have value 3.8. It's very similar, like we used the, I think the power by 2. And the second wave has following sequence is 0, 0, 4, 0, 1. Again, in the gene to the 0, the sum is 5, and the sum is 5. Now let's write the formula. AM is E0 plus E0 plus E on 4 plus E0 plus E1 divided by 5. Let's move it more up, so it is visible on the screen. So the AM is equal, and E on 0, we know it's 1 plus 1 plus, and we here calculated for its square by 4, it is 54.5 plus 1 and plus 2.71 divided by 5, and it's equal, so I will, so 3 plus 54.5 plus 2.71 and divided by 5 is 12. So with this wave that has less matches for the drawing days but has higher match in one day, we are getting the value 12 as an average. and the previous wave has only valued 3.8, and 12 divided 3.8 is 3 times higher. The wave is rated 3 times higher than this one, and we still will keep that wave. So it is the second kind of rating. I plan to use the exponential on x using the Euler's number. Euler's number. That's what I plan to use. That's the second method. And the third will be to use the factorial. Is written like here, the exclamation mark. For example, if we have value number 3 factorial is equal 3 times 2 times 1, and it is number 6. Factorial of 4 is 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, and it's equal to number 24. You see that there is a big difference between 4 matches or 3 matches. It's 4 times higher at this moment, and we can continue to 5 matches and so on. And let's calculate again what will be the wave. You have again the wave A in this sequence 0, 2, 0, 2, 1. And the average mean is equal like 0 factorial plus 2 factorial plus 0 factorial plus 2 factorial plus 1 factorial divided by 5. And I will write it here. So 0 factorial is 1 plus 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is again the 0 factorial plus 2, and 1 factorial is 1 times 1, actually it's 1. So factorial of 0 or 1 is always the same, so we are getting small value to 0 as well, and divided by 5. So it is this 3 plus 3, it's 7 divided by 5. And let me calculate it. Divided by 5 is 1.4. And if we look for the wave number B, or letter B, it has sequence 0, 0, 4, 0, 1. Again, the sum is 5, and here it is 5. So the waves according to gene 2.0 are equal. And let me write it here. AM is 0 factorial plus 0 factorial plus 4 factorial plus 0 factorial plus 1 factorial divided by 5. The is 1 plus 1 plus 4 factorial, we have 24 plus 1 plus 1 divided by 5. So I check if this is really factorial of number 4 is 24, and it is 28. Assume is 28 divided by 5 is 5.6. 5.6. And 5.6, if we compare it with the first wave, divided by 1.4 is exactly 4 times. This wave is 4 times stronger than the wave A, even the sum is the same. So this is about the, I would say it's a third rating I will add into Gene 2.1, and the other rating I would like to add inside is the power on the x on x, power on power. So it can look like this: if we have 1 on 1 is equal 1, or 2 on 2 is equal 4, 3 on 3 is, I think, 27, but let's check it. Yes, 27, and 4 on 4 is equal 4, and on 4 is much more higher, it's 256. Now you can see how it will look like, that we are giving, when I am adding the another rating, we are getting more and more values to the higher number of hits. So again, the situation for the wave, like we have 0, 2, 0, 2, 1, the sum is 5, and we will write the formula here. So it's 0, 0 on 0 plus 2 on 2 plus 0 on 0 plus 2 on 2 plus 1 on 1 divided by 5. And the AM is 0 on 0 is 1, 2 on 2 is 4, 0 on 0 1 plus 4, and 1 on 1 is 1 divided by 5. So the sum is 11 divided by 5, and it's equal, it will be something to 2.2. And if we have the second wave I used before, so we have 0, 0, 4 matches, 0 matches, and 1 match. The sum is again equal to 5. And now the AM is 0 on 0 plus 0 on 0 plus 4 on 4 plus 0 on 0 plus 1 on 1 divided by 5. And we will write it here. And we know it's 1 plus 1 plus, we calculated here, and 4 on 4 is 256 plus 1 plus 1 divided by 5. And it's 260 divided by 5, and it's equal 260 divided by 5 is 52, and 52 divided by 2.2 is 23.6. So this wave using this rating x on x, this wave is 23 times much better than the wave A. So we are giving much more value if we are using the rating with x on x. So this is the fourth method, additional method I would like to use. So at this moment we have fifth method if we count the current method in Gene, and I would like to also keep the method where x is equal to x as we have today. And that's what I would like to point out. And all these, I would say, 5 methods are independent. And what does it mean? They are independent on the number of balls in the drawing machine. So if you look here, there is no included the number of balls in the drawing machine. So if you, for example, match 4 numbers and you are getting still this value, even you are taking these 4 numbers from 100 balls or 40 balls or 10 balls, you are still giving the same rating. So it is independent on the number of balls in the drawing machine. So it's good to use this method, but we are not including this dependence on the number of balls in the drawing machine. And for that reason I plan to implement the last, and it is 6th method, and it will be the probability. We have the probability method, and the probability will be of the even one for the drawing machine 1 if the lottery has 1 drawing machine, and plus the probability of the draw machine number 2. This probability is valid only in case you are using the lottery with 2 drawing machines. So we can write it like px1 times px2. Actually, the right formula is that these two probabilities of these two events are multiplied together, and the probability actually is lowered. That's why the lottery companies are using many lotteries with 2 drawing machines, and it's only to reduce the probability that you have lower chance to win the lottery. And I will not explain it today because I need to find the right formula, and if you find it, you are free and welcome to share it in the comments or to send it to me what the formula to use for the probability. And only I know that it's dependent, the value, if we have 4 hits or 3 hits, the probability is dependent on the amount of balls in the drawing machine, and also it has something to do with the permutations and combinations. So it is the probability is dependent. I hope I am writing it in the right way. So that's the last method I plan to use in the gene, And let me summarize what actually I'm planning to use. So we have the independent as we have today in the gene. This is the x, or x powered by 2, or the exponential powered by x, or x factorial, or x on x. And then is the dependent, where is the probability for even 1 and 2, and the formula I will show in the next video update. And also I will show how the probability is influencing the rating, how much value is giving to the selected rating if we choose the probability. So finally I plan to implement 6 completely, one we have, but completely there will be six kind of ratings for your waves to find stronger and much more better waves than we have until now. The last thing I can show here to point out that what we have today is some kind of smooth, that we can still use it, but we are finding more smooth waves without peaks. And if you use the other methods, they are more and more giving more value to more hits, and then the probability is the most this is rating which is giving the maximum possible value. So then it's up to you and us what kind of rating you will finally select. So actually I am at the end, and that's all for today. I believe it was interesting and fully comprehensive, and you have great idea what will be inside the gene 2.1. Thank you for watching. If you are new here, please subscribe to the channel and provide your comments, feedback. Do not forget provide the formula if you know it, and I'll be glad for every like I will get from you. Join us on the Facebook page, groups, follow the links in the description. Stay tuned, and before I will make this new video update about the gene 2.1, I will also release a new video tutorial number 14, where I will talk about the results and gate. So there is a lot of stuff going on, and you can looking forward to. So in this case, stay tuned, have a nice day, and see you next time.